This video will give you additional practice on those all-important supply and demand diagrams. For the most part, this video will include extracts followed by a question requiring you to draw a supply and demand diagram. If you're unsure about the factors affecting demand, not sure how to draw demand and supply diagrams or supply and demand diagrams, and you need some clarity about factors affecting supply, then do check out these videos. I will put the link to them in the description box. However, if you're not sure how, or you don't remember how to fully label your demand and supply diagrams, then do check that video out, because you should have watched that video before you watch this one. So watch that one, complete the steps in that, complete the activities, and then come back and watch this video. If you'd like to check out a demand and supply cheat sheet that has examples of diagrams for all the factors affecting demand and all the factors affecting supply, then you'll find the link in the description box. So grab a pen and some paper, and some of you might want a ruler, and practice drawing some supply and demand diagrams with me. Our first question: using a fully labelled supply and demand diagram, explain the possible impact on the cycle market of the increase in the number of people cycling. So you can pause the video now and attempt the question if you like. Now for this question, the price has risen due to an increase in demand from changes in consumer tastes for cycling. It's important to fully label your diagram. Our next question, and this one has an extract. Using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the likely impact on BA of further bad publicity for the business. BA's efforts to compete with budget airlines such as EasyJet and Ryanair on short-haul flights has led to a number of changes that have been criticised by loyal customers and created bad publicity for the long-established business. BA took the decisions to scrap free meals on short-haul flights and reconfigure aircraft to add more seats, resulting in reduced legroom on some aircraft. The reinvention of BA is continuing, with the carrier planning to launch the option of no-frills fares on its long-haul flights. The cheaper tickets, which do not include the cost of luggage or seat selection, will help BA compete with the likes of low-cost long-haul rival Norwegian on key routes to America. BA faced further bad publicity when news broke it had been fined €104 million by the European Commission in 2017 for its role in a major price-fixing scandal. 11 airlines were fined a total of €776 million for their role in a cartel to fix fuel and security changes on flights within the European Economic Area. Despite the bad publicity, the business is performing well financially. In 2017, BA generated sales revenue of £12.3 billion, which was a 7.3% increase on the previous year. In 2017, the profit for the year increased from 1.28 billion to 1.4 billion. So we are required to use a supply and demand diagram and illustrate the likely impact on BA of further bad publicity for the business. So you can pause the video now if you want and attempt the question. Here's the answer. So we can see that there's been a fall in demand. We can see that from D1 to D2. Did you get it right? On to another question. Using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the impact of the growing demand for dark chocolate. Now on to the extract. Cocoa is the main raw material in chocolate manufacturing. Cocoa prices have increased by 15% in less than a week. The price rise is due to growing demand for cocoa in China and to growing demand worldwide for dark chocolate, which is thought to be healthier. Global cocoa capacity would need to increase by 30% in order to keep up with growing demand. Chocolate has become an affordable luxury despite the global recession. Analysts predict cocoa prices will increase by up to 110% compared to a year ago. Within 8 years, there will be a shortage of 1 million tonnes of cocoa unless vast areas of land are set aside to farm the commodity. So what you can do now is pause the video and draw a supply and demand diagram. And I haven't been reading the headlines and extracts, but I'm assuming that you're doing so. Let's have a look at the answer. So we can see that there's been an increase in demand, and we can see that from D1 to D2. And we've got all parts of our diagram fully labelled. On to the next one. Our next question: new and more efficient technology has been introduced to the production process of auto electrical components. Using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the likely impact of this new technology on the market for auto electrical components. Let's take a look at the answer. The introduction of the new technology, meaning that the firms will be more efficient, has impacted on the supply curve. So we can see that there's been an increase in supply from S1 to S2. Next question: increasing numbers of American homes are being built using native Canadian timber. Using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the likely impact of this on Probin Export Limited. Off to the extract. Established in 1972, Probin Export Limited is a leading Canadian exporter of timber and wood related products. It sells in most major markets around the world, including Europe, the USA and South America. Located in Vancouver, the company's focus is on the export of native softwood timber. It sells a vast range of products as well as a full range of pressure treated construction timber. The company's roots within the timber community go back 3 generations, with an established network of log suppliers and sellers, sawmills and brokers, all located in Canada. Probin Export has the ability to deliver high quality Canadian wood to anywhere in the world. So back to the question: increasing numbers of American homes are being built using native Canadian timber. Use a supply and demand diagram to illustrate the likely impact of this on Probin Export Limited. So you can pause the video now and give this question a go. I will reveal the answer now. So your diagram should have reflected an increase in demand, and it should be fully labelled, don't forget, or you will lose out on marks. Our next question: using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the possible effect on the high street clothing market of the increase in online clothing market sales. So let's have a look at the extract. Some 4.5 billion was spent online in May 2010 as the UK's e-commerce market grew by 22% compared to the previous year. Figures show that spending online was equivalent to £73 for every person in the UK. Tina Spooner, Director of Information at IMRG, which monitors online sales trends, said, with online sales growing at their highest rate in almost 2 years, this is good news for the online retail market. In the first 6 months of 2010, the UK online retail market has grown 14%. So you can pause the video and give this question a go. So the effect on the high street clothing market because of an increase in online clothing market sales means that there's been a fall in demand. Our next question: how have you gotten so far? Let me know in the comments. Our next question: fewer UK businesses want to open high street shops. Using a supply and demand diagram, illustrate the likely effect on this on rental prices of high street shops. In a recent report by Deloitte, 40% of shops in the UK will close by 2017 as consumers increasingly reject traditional shops in favour of online shopping. Analysts state that the majority of UK retailers such as Halfords and Argos will have to close 30 to 40% of their shops to remain competitive. Electrical retailer Dixons is already reducing the number of shops from 650 to 450. Causes of high street decline include increasing shop rents, a movement away from music and film retailing to downloads, and most importantly, an increase in all online sales. Some retailers employ more technology. Burberry use big screen previews in store and provide iPads for customer use. Ocado and Tesco have developed apps allowing customers to order groceries on the move. Department stores such as Debenhams, do you remember Debenhams? Offer click and collect, where shoppers order online and pick up from the shop of their choice. E-retailing now accounts for 17% of total UK retail sales and is likely to increase. Marks & Spencer's 2012 first quarter results showed general merchandise sales, 90% of which is clothing, falling by 6.8% after being left behind by online competitors. So I'm sure that you guys can see that it's a fairly old question, but you might not have seen it before, so I think that's important as well. So you can pause the video now and attempt the diagram. And I'm going to show the answer. Here we go. Make sure it's fully labelled. We can see in our diagram that demand has fallen, and we can see that from D1 to D2, and we can see the new price level as well.